This is Sparta!
Hello, it's Levi Joseph here from Spartan Warrior Fitness. Just saying thank you to everybody and giving everybody a shout out for who watched the first podcast, showed support, love, and that was awesome. I really appreciated everyone's showing of support, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And here I am doing the second episode. So today we're just going to get right into it. Then we're talking about learning a little bit about macronutrients, right? So what are macros? Macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fats. All right. Not to be confused with micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals. So getting back to the macros, they play a big role to do with the world of bodybuilding, the world of fitness, sports, all those type of things. They play a large role as to the way we can adapt to the lifestyle we put on our body. Whether or not we consume too much of them could be detrimental to our health. Whether we consume too little, obviously can harm us too. So having the right amount of macros means that we have the right amount of calories. All right, so each macronutrients has a set amount of calories that's associated to a gram. So 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories. 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. So that's important to know, especially if you're making up a food plan, because you obviously need to know whether you're creating a caloric deficit or you're putting in a surplus. Those type of things are relevant. So you need to know how many calories that you're putting in. Okay, so why can't we just lower the calories and that's it if we want to get to our weight loss goal? Why do we got to focus on the types of macros? Why does that matter? Well, because have you ever heard the term like skinny fat? Okay, skinny fat is a term that I kind of drop sometimes, not to be detrimental to him or like insult anybody, but it's a term that means like you could be 170 pounds, but you can look totally different at that 170 pounds. All right. If you're eating a diet that's composed of like wake up in the morning, having some leftover pizza, having like a pop at lunchtime with a bag of Doritos, and then at nighttime you had like some chicken fingers and French fries, and finished it off with like maybe a little bowl of ice cream or something like that. Okay. So you say through all that stuff you only consume 2,000 calories. All right. So you didn't really overeat. You ate just the little bag of Doritos, a little pop, maybe 2 pieces of pizza. You had like 2 chicken fingers and a little bit of fries, and you had just a small bowl of ice cream. So not so bad. But that's the amount of calories. Okay, but when we talk about body composition, that is the way you look at a weight. All right, so by having low glycemic carbs, which are like carbs that have a high amount of fiber, the way it affects the body is quite different. Okay, you're going to have a lot less water retention. You're going to be tighter because of that, but you're going to have a higher amount of muscle from the protein that you're consuming if you're paying attention to the quality of protein through time. The way it affects your hormones, your skin, your this, because of the fats. So those healthy fats, healthy protein, healthy carbs all play to do with a role. And when you're consuming good, healthy food like that, you look, feel different. Be the same weight, but you look and feel different. And I call that body composition. Okay, so macros influence body composition. And that for me is very important. That's why you need to pay attention to them. All right, so when we also talk about weight loss, we tend to associate with a low-carb lifestyle. We found that that's been very effective. We touched on it a bit with ketosis. I love using carb cycling in my lifestyle. For me, I kind of always use carb cycling. So like if I have some days where I have a little bit more carbs, I follow it up some days where I don't have a lot of carbs. And I kind of base that on an intuitive feeling that I have now. And that kind of keeps me in a good spot. But sometimes it takes a little while to build that intuitiveness, to listening to your body and knowing the signs and the feelings and stuff. So you get that as you pay attention and mindfully eat. All right. So putting attention to what you're putting in your body. All right. So we've established the importance of the types of proteins, fats, carbs, very important, and that a carb at a Mars bar is different than a sweet potato. Let's be real, it is. All right. So don't give me that stuff about fitting into your macros. All right. I don't want to hear it. All right. So when we talk about talking about how much should we take in, what I refer to is that's kind of based on your lifestyle. If you're working out 2 to 3 times a week, should you be pounding a gram of protein and a half per pound? Like, that doesn't make any sense. All right. You're not putting that kind of strain on the body with that kind of tearing that you need to repair it so bad. You're going to have a lot of excess protein in the system of your body, which got to get secreted through your urine, which puts a lot of strain on your kidneys. So if you're just somebody who's looking to be fit, looking to be active, and you're only working out 2 to 3 times a week, but you just want that balance into your life, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's healthy. Now, you shouldn't be following the magazines, shouldn't be following the online stuff. You shouldn't be at almost like 1.5 grams, 2 grams per pound. Like, that thing just doesn't make sense. So keeping it a little bit more real and using some of the other macros to make up that difference, right? That's important. But when we talk about a bodybuilder, or we talk about an athlete that's really engaged in what they're doing, and they're doing it every day, maybe twice a day, they definitely need the higher amount. So that demand has to be given to the body. So the ratio of protein then should be higher. Absolutely. All right. Like, I know that we've seen some documentaries out about veganism and the veganism sport and Arnold and everything like that, but it plays a significant role in the development of tissue. All right. And they have another variety of roles, but largely are building blocks of the body. That's what they are. Amino acids are building blocks of the body. All right. And when you put that kind of demand on your body, you need to give it the match that it needs in order to be successful to the environment that you're giving it. All right. Okay. So now that we've established that you're matching it to your lifestyle, all right? Now, if we want to create weight loss, we still got to pay attention to that golden rule, which is calories in and calories out, all right? So figuring out your basic metabolic rate is important. That's how your body is functioning if you were not to lose any weight at all, that's how it's functioning. So if you were just to not do anything at all, that's the way you're functioning, just to clarify. So you're not dropping weight, you're not losing, you're gaining weight, you're just kind of moving at that place. So say that could be 2,000 calories for somebody, right? And that's their BMR. So I use the Tanita to find that out. That gives me just a basic ballpark to work with. And largely I've found that it's pretty successful. There are variables and different times you come across where it's not 100%, but largely it puts me in a very good spot that I can play with. So now I've got the right amount of calories. Now I decide how many protein, how many carbs, how many fats I'm going to put into that to make up that 2,000 calories per se. All right. And that's based on their lifestyle, how many times they're working out, how many times you're, training in the gym, stuff like that. So just making sure that you're giving it enough for them to heal, having it at the right times. Or if you're an endurance athlete, well, obviously carbs is a huge role, right? So if you're an endurance athlete, you got to make sure not only do you have to have enough protein, you have to have enough carbs. So you got to find that right amount. But speaking of weight loss now, let's get back to that. So we've got that. We've got the right amount of calories in. We've got the right amount of calories out. We've decided, okay, we're going to go with higher protein because they're working out 5-6 times a week. And we're going with a lower carb setting and a moderate fat. That's what we're kind of running with, healthy fats. Okay. So that's kind of the meal plan you set up. and then you try it out. All right, so you start running on that meal plan, and you should see certain things. A lot of the time, if you get it right, you'll see significant weight loss at the beginning, right in the first 2 weeks. That's largely water, okay? It's about 80% to 90% water. You should see like 4 to 5 pounds, and a lot of people, that just drops off right away. If you don't see it, well, then something's off, right? No need to panic, though. It's just you make adjustments. Maybe you had things too high based upon where your body's running and you weren't spending enough. So there wasn't a proper deficit. Maybe you're running in an autoimmune situation where you're intolerant to, wheat and the gluten that comes along with it, right? So it's throwing your body off. The way it's working, you got a lot of cortisol in the system and all these different things, and it's not doing its normal digestive patterns. So that's got to be something to consider too. But if we get it right, it's working, we see that water loss right away. But after those first couple weeks, things start to slow down a little bit, and you get into, want to see that 1 to 2 pounds kind of groove, right? And if you want to increase it, then you add more calories expenditure on the fitness end by doing more cardio, things like that. And that's essentially kind of what I do when you kind of put that information into building a meal plan for somebody, is you take all those kind of considerations in their lifestyle, what the kind of demand that they're putting on themselves, and what they need. You use their BMR, which is their basic metabolic rate. That tells you how many calories in and calories out you need for this plan, whether you're creating a surplus or a deficit. And number 3, body composition, which macros matter. All right? You don't want to be 170 pounds, but be kind of like not really in shape. Have a high body fat percentage. You want to be tighter, leaner, if that's your goal, or you want to perform your sport better, faster, stronger. You want recovery quicker. These are the things that you do, but body composition goes to the macros. So figure out your macro ratios and break that down into your calories, and that is how you get the right meal plan for yourself. All right. If you have any questions at all, talking about macros, talking about meal plans, talking about anything that any of the things we talked today, just reach out to me online. And I'm busy right now, but when I get back to you, I'll answer those questions, I promise. And I encourage you to try it out. Use your BMR, create those calories, create the right macros you want to try into it. And then even if you show that to me, I'd love to see that and, give you a thumbs up on it, or any kind of suggestions I have, maybe you can make or change. And if you run into any problems, you let me know. All right. And you make adjustments. And it's like an experiment. That's the way to look at it. It's like you're trying to learn your body. You're trying to learn how you work, right? And that's all it is. It's just trying to learn how to successfully live your life in the best, healthiest way possible that gives you a life that you feel good about. All right. So thank you for listening to this episode. I've enjoyed it. Again, I'll be doing a 3rd episode. I'll be released in a couple weeks. But I hope you enjoyed this.